You didn't lose that game because your aim was bad. You lost because you were slow and the game punished you for it. You ever finish a match thinking, I hit most of my shots, so how did we still lose that hard? Here's the answer nobody wants to admit. If your brawler is slower than theirs, every fight is way less forgiving for you. The faster team gets in range first, dodges more, escapes more, and controls the map. Speed isn't a bonus. It's the thing that quietly decides who actually wins. Most players obsess over damage, gadgets, or fancy supers. But the more you play, the more one thing becomes obvious. Movement speed decides almost every interaction in Brawl Stars. Speed changes how easy it is to dodge, how safe it is to take duels, how quickly you can rotate to help teammates, and whether you even have the option to back off when things go wrong. So in this video, I'm going to break down why speed is actually the strongest stat in the game, how it shapes the current meta, and why some brawlers just feel unplayable once you notice it. On paper, damage and health look more important. You can see them: big numbers, huge hits, clutch moments at 1 HP. Speed is invisible, but it quietly multiplies both of those stats. A faster brawler lands more shots over time because they can constantly shift angles. A faster brawler effectively has more health because dodging makes enemy ammo disappear into the ground. A faster brawler gets into more favorable fights per game because they can move from one winning position to the next. A balanced brawler with great numbers but slow movement will always feel worse than a weaker brawler who can actually reach fights, dodge, and reposition. You're not playing a turn-based game. You're playing a game of who gets to act more, and speed is what gives you those actions. Everyone loves talking about aim, but at higher levels, dodging is just as important. Think about how most projectiles work. They have travel time. They expect you to keep walking in a straight line. The moment your movement speed goes up, you're no longer where the enemy expects you to be. Suddenly, a ton of reliable shots just whiff. Fast brawlers can move in and out of range between enemy shots, juke auto-aim by changing direction at the last second, peek from behind walls, fire and retreat before slower enemies can punish. Meanwhile, slower brawlers feel like they're playing on rails. If someone lines you up, you don't have the speed to break their aim pattern. You try to dodge, but it feels like you're dodging in slow motion. Once you see it this way, you realize movement speed is basically the real defense stat. Now look at tanks and assassins. They don't have range. They have to cross open space. Without enough speed or mobility, they're just a slow-moving target. Snipers, throwers, and mid-range brawlers get to empty their shots into you while you're still trying to walk up. But the moment a short-range brawler has speed behind them, base stats, dashes, or temporary boosts, everything flips. Your reaction window shrinks to almost nothing. One missed shot means they're suddenly in your face. You don't get a second chance to fix your positioning. Speed is what turns a melee brawler from tragic into terrifying. It's not just about gap closers, it's about how fast they move between each decision you make. Speed doesn't only matter in 1 versus 1 duels, it decides who controls the flow of the entire match. Fast brawlers can take mid, win a duel, and then instantly rotate to the side lane to create a 2 versus 1. Collapse on isolated enemies the second they misstep. Swap lanes with a teammate to fix a bad matchup without losing pressure. Slow brawlers are locked into wherever they spawned. If they lose lane, rotating takes so long that by the time they move, the fight is already over somewhere else. In modes where map control is everything, like hot zone, gem grab, or mid-heavy maps, the faster team ends up owning more of the map at once. They're not necessarily stronger on paper. They just show up to more fights throughout the match. You've probably felt this without putting words to it. You pick a certain brawler and instantly think, why do I feel stuck? Why am I always late? Why does it feel like everyone else is playing a different game speed? That's the speed gap talking. Slower or clunkier brawlers arrive late to engagements, can't safely poke in and out of cover, struggle to chase down low health enemies, have no way to disengage if they miss position once. So even if their damage looks great on paper, they still feel awful in matches. The whole game has crept toward higher mobility, which makes normal speed feel like you're dragging behind. If you've ever locked in a brawler and thought, why do I just feel like a turret? That's what's going on. One underrated thing about speed is the pressure it creates without firing a shot. A fast brawler just standing near mid or lurking in bushes forces the enemy team to hug walls more tightly, waste ammo checking bushes, give up ground because they're afraid of a sudden push. That's free value. You're making them play worse just by existing as a fast threat on the map. Slow brawlers don't create that same fear. Your threat zone is smaller, your reach is worse, and everyone knows they can back up, heal, and reset before you ever get to punish. Everybody makes mistakes. Missed shots, bad gadget, stepping too far forward. Speed decides whether you get punished or forgiven. Fast brawlers can overextend, realize it instantly, and sprint back behind cover. Miss a shot, quickly adjust to a safer angle, and continue the fight. Take risky flanks because they know they can always run if it goes wrong. Slow brawlers don't get that luxury. One bad step and you're stuck in no man's land with no undo button. This is why playing slow brawlers often feels way more punishing. The game is less about don't misplay and more about you're not allowed to misplay ever, which just isn't realistic over a long session. Now think about how often speed shows up in different mechanics. Gears that boost movement in certain conditions, supers that give you a burst of speed as you engage, gadgets that dash, blink, or sprint. Whenever speed gets added to a kit, even briefly, it almost always makes the brawler feel instantly better. Not because their numbers change, but because their options change. Suddenly, your engagement timing is unpredictable. Your retreat path actually exists. Your dodging goes from hope to consistent. The fact that temporary speed boosts feel this good tells you everything about how important base movement speed really is. So what do you actually do with this information? When you pick a brawler, don't just check damage and health. Think, can this character move well enough for the maps and modes I'm playing? When in doubt, lean toward brawlers who either have higher base speed or strong mobility tools. Prioritize learning movement, juking, stutter stepping, abusing bushes and corners, just as much as you practice aiming. If you're stuck in a rank, it might not be your mechanics. You might just be hard capping yourself by overcommitting to slow picks on fast maps. So yeah, damage matters, health matters, gadgets, supers, all of that matters. But none of it comes into play if you're too slow to actually use it. The brawler who moves better doesn't just look flashier, they see more of the map, take better fights, and survive situations you simply can't. You don't win games just because you hit harder. You win because you get there first, dodge what should have killed you, and leave before they can answer. If this changed how you look at speed in Brawl Stars, hit like and subscribe.